So glad you're here. Today we have a special, not a special guest. We have a guest. Her name is Jackie. You have asked me, who is Jackie? Why is she here? Now you will know why Chopra Hill is showing her. So, welcome, Jackie. Tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Eva. Yeah, I kind of been
Wait,
a little in
wait
my
a minute. I
okay.
don't see. Just keep going. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, no worries. Yeah, I've been a little MIA, right? I've kind of a
Yeah,
little went in the background. No, my name is Jackie Williams. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. And what me and you Eva met many moons ago. I can't even count
many moons
anymore.
ago.
I think if I've been married 15 years, yeah, I've at least known you for 17 or so. Probably longer than that. Anyway, I am a daughter. I'm a wife, as you just heard, of 15 years. I'm a business owner. I own a travel agency, New Vibe Travel Experiences. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm a coach, a business coach as well. And so, yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Uh, I know you have me on the true check, so you need to stand up a little bit more
Oh,
and say what is the name of your company?
my company name is New Vibe Travel Experiences. That is so funny. This is
Can you
actually
can you share your website? Your
I will. It's gonna also be down in the comment section, but it's newvibeluxtravel.com.
okay. Thank you for
And
sharing that.
yeah, 11 years in business this year. And so I specialize in
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, I specialize in luxury concierge travel for those who want to travel with ease and without stress.
Okay. We'll talk about that at the end. So don't
Okay.
leave you if you want to get information to stay to the end. Okay, Jackie. You have to share a little bit. I one of the things I have shared, they say you guys are have been friends and you have competing businesses. And
Mm,
you always correct me and say we don't compete. That's true. We do not compete. We have the same business. We were in the travel business. And I focus on stroke for healing. And my husband, Sam, who I appreciate so much, is doing the travel business now. He's doing, he does the more luxury travel. So let's go back to stroke for healing because that is my, I'm passionate about stroke for healing.
right.
So, what, my question to you is why why are you involved in stroke for healing? Why
Besides the
you?
fact that you're one of my best friends, and my sister, um, wow. So I guess it goes back to how I was raised, as in a loving and caring and nurturing family. So in January 2023, when your stroke occurred, it was a blow, right? But one of the things with the support and how you, um, I guess it got me emotional, and how you start to heal, and when you came out, travel was no longer your passion and your focus. But you said you wanted to do a podcast because if you remember, you were the first person that got me on the interview. It got me speaking in general. And so I'm like, okay, so what we gonna do? I wanted to support you, but then I guess most people may say, well, she hasn't had a stroke, right? And she's young. So what do we have in common? Well, when I was a child, my godmother had a stroke and I was there with her, had to navigate that communication in her new normal. And then, my grandmother had breast cancer. So I was also there doing that transition of when she had it and she was in remission for 18 years. Then it came back stage 4. Um, a cousin on dialysis who recently passed actually this week. And then she also had an amputation. I had an uncle, paraplegic. He's confined to a wheelchair, but he can walk now. But he's interesting. He's actually a very good success story. Um, and then now my grandfather has cancer. So, I've always wanted to encourage people. I feel like that's one of my special gifts of encouragement. And so when you say stroke for healing, for me, I just hear healing. And it can be for anyone who needs it, right? And if I can participate, share my story, and also show what it's like to show up for someone else, for a friend, to be present, and then also give some of my own personal experiences, then yeah, that's what keeps me passionate about this. It's more because I'm more than who people see me as. And so this also gives me an opportunity to express that.
Thank you for sharing. I learned some new things about you just from listening.
Really?
Yes, I did. I, I didn't know some of your beginnings. I didn't know. You've been through a lot. One of the questions I have for you: how do you, in view of the fact that your family, you have, you've had so many things happen to you? What do you? How do you navigate the hard times?
Huh. Prayer, God. I grew up in church. And it wasn't just growing up in church. My family made sure my grandmother and my grandfather and my mom, I guess my whole family. But I grew up with very practical understanding of God and just how to go to him in prayer. I won't even say I'm like the best prayer. I don't like praying out loud. But I
You're not
do.
the only one.
Yeah, no,
I
I
know
don't like
people don't like that either.
I don't like people hear me pray, but I do introspect a lot, and I go in and I take time and I get silent and I just kind of meditate on him like this week. Like, so just a little personal note. Last Thursday, it was a long wait, about a month of trying to see what it is that my grandfather actually has. And we still don't quite know the specific cancer that is in his bone or lung, but now we think it's breast cancer, which is so freaking ironic because that's what my grandmother had. And so it's one of those things. And then now this week, I'm going to two funerals this week. And I've literally couldn't do nothing but just say, okay, God, I remember his promises. I remember what he's already brought people through, that I've seen, brought me through, that I've experienced. And I just have to remember that the devil tells us lies and that we have to discern the difference between them. And
Mhm.
that's what gets me out. So I know some people probably don't believe, and that's going to be a hard one for me to relate to, but all I can just say is just pray once and just choose the trust, and then I think it gives a lot of comfort. He's given me comfort.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. For all this is not sure why the session shows this is a test. But we're talking with Jackie Williams, my friend and travel colleague. This is not a test. And thank you for those who are out there watching us. We're just having a conversation with we are sharing. So I want thank you for sharing that with us too, Miss Jackie. I appreciate you more than you know. I appreciate it. My next question is, you've been through a lot. And thanks for sharing why, when the hard times come, what you lean on. That's very good. Mm. My next question, I want people who have strokes and or disabilities
Mhm.
to know there is always hope. There's always people who love you. You can you can still do it. And I want and Jackie wants you to know that you are special. You are important, and don't shrink back.
Okay.
I'm learning this. So, what would you say, Miss Jackie? What would you say?
Wow, that is such a timely message because I truly love people. I genuinely love people. Um, Even this part of my life, I think COVID did a lot. Being in the house and kind of retreating back and being afraid of germs as I am. I'm a germaphobe. I kind of retreated back. But one of the things I can do is when I encourage people is always remind them that they're loved. So I have a cousin actually. I'm gonna see him this weekend. He had a stroke. I didn't even realize this, Eva. He's like 2 years older than me. Um, and he had a stroke, but he can talk and walk. And he's went back to work and such, but he's went numb. You know, he lost his dad, he lost his grandparents, and it's just been a lot. His own health, and he was like, I don't even know if I have feelings anymore. And I was like, no, you have to have feelings. You have to remember to connect and share. You know, I'm probably the most vulnerable and transparent person in my family. And even with you, right? I was always encouraging you to talk, say how you feel, ask for what you need. And I just want to encourage people that people care. Um, the more you tell people you're okay, then they may pull back, not because they don't care, but because they don't want to bother you or, create more stress for you. Even one of the biggest things that you did for me is when you shared, like when you were first coming home, you're going through a lot of appointments and such. And I wouldn't call you as often because I just didn't know how to show up and I didn't want to overwhelm you. But then you were like, "No, why you not calling me?" Right? And it was only because you were had the ability to communicate what you needed from me that I was able to show up for you. So I just encourage people out there, just let people know what you need from them. I'm the oldest and of the well, from my grandmother, I'm the oldest. I have one older cousin, and then but I'm the oldest sibling, and so everyone thinks I have it together. And even when I say I don't, they don't believe me. And so, and that's a little frustrating sometimes. But I've even had to get very specific and say, no, Jackie needs help. I don't have it all together. Check on your strong friends. That's what they say now in the social world, right? But I just encourage y'all to lean in and find people you can talk to, whether it's a counselor, a friend. We really do want to be there for the people we love. We just need to know or have that reminder sometimes that how you need us.
That is a good thing about check on your strong friends, because sometimes we don't want, I, I don't want to burn other people. So I don't share what's on my mind. I don't share. That's not good.
But what is
And
that word?
plus,
But where burden come from? Where did this word? Why do we say that? Where did it come from?
I don't know.
I know we're supposed to cast our burdens on the Lord, but He also didn't create us alone in this earth. He created us to be in community and be with family, right? And have friends and wise counsel. And so I guess the understanding and truth that I lean on. And so even when I feel like my burden is heavy, I'm still going to tell you. I'm going to take a chance. And all you can just say is that you don't have time, right? But most times people don't do that.
Yeah. I even before the show, people say, "How you doing?" I'll say, "Oh, I'm fine," but that wasn't true. I could be sometimes I could be sad or unhappy, but I say, "Oh, I'm fine." Not really. Sometimes
Yeah,
I am fine. Sometimes I'm not. Share your true self. Share your true self.
that's good.
Okay, Miss Jackie. What advice would you give to people, other people who had strokes? Oh, thank you for the hearts. I see them. Oh, it means so much to me to share. And Miss and Jackie.
Yeah, thank y'all. I can't see them, but I appreciate that.
Hey, okay. What was some having to do with me? What were some tips that you would say were helpful for you? Just share about two tips.
Two? Oh my goodness. You're gonna make me be
Well,
brief.
it could be
I don't
more.
know. Let me think. Well, first of all, I wasn't dealing with you. I was loving you and still am loving you. Um, so for someone, I'll speak from my perspective, right? So for someone who is being either a caregiver, taker, whichever word you like to use, friend, family member, patience of and the patience is not like, oh, in the dealing way. It's more in understanding that the person the person in front of you, like you, Eva, before your stroke may not be who you are exactly since the stroke, right? And I never forget we were all on a call and I said, "You're not different." And then I was reminded that you were. And I think that was good for me because it helped me live in the reality of now so that I can appreciate all of you who you are today, right? So just know that the person may or may not have some differences that you have to adjust to and be patient with. Um and ask I actually feel like if you really truly want to be like present, I've said it before, ask the person how you can show up for them, what they need from you, and then from your perspective, share what's possible and what's not possible. Because even there's been times when I had to say I can't do certain things right now, right? And then, but at least I communicated and you were able to know what I was able to be present for you with or not.
Okay.
What I had to learn from you, or what you've taught me rather, is perseverance. Oh my gosh, I think you had a brief little accident and you had to have a little minor surgery, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I never forget. I was going to the movies and I'm like stuck and I'm like, what should I do? And everybody said, no, you continue on. We'll call you if we need you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you came, I think that was like a 1 or 2 days in the hospital. And then you were exercising on that Thursday, I believe. Like, what is happening? Because for me, that would have gave me an excuse to stay in the bed. So your Keep Moving series, it actually encouraged me as somebody who should be moving, who should be focusing on preventative care, to keep moving because as you know, I can get in a hermit state, right? And just sit and work all the time or just stay home and watch TV. So yeah, you've encouraged me to keep moving. I mean, you have so much energy, you and Sam is unbelievable and it's so inspiring to me. That's actually why I like talking to y'all all the time because it's like, okay. this is something to look forward to because y'all ain't never home.
Well, I have learned a lot from you too. I when when to speak up to, and one thing I've learned too is that you don't hold back from me, even though you know that I had a stroke and all that stuff. You still encourage me. For example, you said don't use the word we're competing. We're not
Hmm.
competing. We are working together. Even though we have different childhood, even though we had different childhood businesses, we are still working together.
Even
So
so, even the
that
word,
was encouragement.
remember, even the word victim, like you're not a victim, you're a survivor,
Yeah.
right? And I know it creeps up every now and then, but yeah, I think that's probably the most important thing I would share for people. Anyone who has a disability, who's sick, whether they're terminal or not, they're still human and they're still them. Even if they're going through like Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever, those people, like, they are still human. And I feel like the more we keep the humanization of people and stop looking at them like, oh, something's wrong, like, no, that's your new normal. Like, for instance, I heard your voicemail like a time back before the stroke, and it took me back like, oh my gosh, I know that voice, but for me, this is Eva now. Like, who you are now is you. And I just see the beauty in that, right? That you can go through, so we all can go through so many transitions, but to still see the person in the heart. So yeah, you my girl.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I want to share your heart. One of the things we learned in our travel business is people to know, like, and trust us. I can trust Miss Jackie. She's and I know her and I like her.
I
And
like
I
her too.
want you to like us as Stroke for Healing because I want to make a difference. Even though I had a stroke going to go on 3 years, I don't know. I can't remember the exact date. I had a stroke, and I just really found out I had 3 strokes in the beginning. But, but God
God.
can make a difference in our lives, not just my life, not just Jackie's life, but in your life. God can make a difference. He that can will make a difference. He will make a difference because sometimes I would tell a friend I have good days and I have bad days, but on the bad days I can remember what God says about me, not what I'm thinking. Negative. Sometimes I can be so negative, but God is never negative. He's not negative with me. He can say good things about me. So I want you to know the good things about yourself. Even if you uh, are in different stages of recovery, are different and you are okay. That's what I want you to know.
Amen.
Miss Jackie watches time because I know that I'm not watching the time.
What time? It's when we talk as long as we need to. No, you have any other things you want to ask me?
Ah, mm,
Cause we usually talk for way longer than this.
I know. Put in the comments questions that you have.
Yeah.
It's because it's not about so much about us, it's about you.
Yeah.
Put in the comments at Stroke for Healing YouTube, not cap forward slash, and at, don't forget the outside at Stroke for Healing. Put the questions and then even though maybe we won't answer them right now, but later we will come back and see the questions
Yeah.
and then answer them.
Yeah. Yeah, please share. Um, if you've been encouraged, if you've been inspired, if it's prompted you to pick up the phone and call someone who you've been thinking about but just haven't. Sometimes a text will go a long way. I get caught up in my own, like, oh man, I haven't talked to them in a while and it's going to be awkward. And then yet, when I get the random text of I was just thinking about you, I'm like, oh my gosh, that felt so good.
Mhm.
And it just reminds me of to get out of my head, right? And to just show up the way, like you said, just be yourself, authentically yourself. And so we just encourage you to believe that you're worth it, to understand that it's doesn't always make sense when God puts these situations in our life, or we have to watch the people we love and you maybe say, well, good people are the ones who are suffering and bad people seem like they have everything. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about, because God's plan is often not understood by human on our level, and is usually to help benefit somebody else, if not just you. So we're on this earth for each other, and so we're here for you. We're here to encourage. We'll share our stories. If there's things that you want to know more about that you've heard us mention, let us know. If there's things you want to know from me, let me know. Eva's constantly telling me to create more and to share more. And so even though I'm preparing for a very heavy week with my family, I still chose to show up today because I'm just praying that it inspires somebody to remember that even when life is heavy, all you have to do is just keep putting one foot in front of the other, or pushing one. You're pushing yourself forward the way you have to push if you're in a chair or whatnot. Um, because it matters and we matter. And so hopefully you've been encouraged. And I just thank you, Eva, for asking me to share today. I always have more to say. Um, and so I just look forward to like showing back up again and having these conversations, because I didn't even realize until now just how much I missed it.
Thank you for sharing your heart. That means so much to me. And remember, if you don't understand me, ask me. Oh, to repeat myself, it's a it's a gift from you to me. I want to be. I'm working on being better. So don't forget to share that. And I, I watch a lot of YouTube, and they say don't forget to share. But share, I want to say share uh, with people who you think this will be helpful. And they
Yeah,
don't have to have a stroke. That's the question I have for you, Miss Jackie. I hate that. Is the stroke plan only for people who had a stroke? How would you answer that?
absolutely not. It's for people who want to know how to have empathy for others. It's encouragement. Um, it definitely can motivate and encourage those who have had a stroke, because you had so many testimonies. But no, for me, this channel is to encourage people to live their life fully and to show up for themselves every day and to believe that they're worth it and that they can do and accomplish a lot of different things that they never thought they could if they just don't give up. As long as you don't give up, I have seen miracles. I have seen so many miracles, and we don't use that word often. You're a miracle, Eva. And yeah, as long as you just don't give up, and as anything is possible. So I do believe that what we've shared, we've had some really amazing conversations on this channel so far. So please go back, look at what's been discussed. Watch Eva's series on Keep Moving, as she was in in home rehabilitation with her trainer, getting stronger, because it's definitely for everyone and anyone who wants to know how to be there for others.
Okay, so and how can people get in touch with you, Miss Jackie?
Well, for me, you're gonna find me on social at Nuvi NUVIBE Travel. Personally, that's it's not what I do, but definitely for my business, Nuvi Travel Experiences, at nuvitluxtravel.com. That is the best way. You can Google Jackie Williams Travel, and I'll show up that way as well if you can't spell the name of my business. But it will be down here in the comments. I'll put that there. And so, yeah, we focus also, and we actually partner with Sam and you often on experiences on the river and other places. But yeah, we definitely do very concierge, um, personalized travel planning. And so that's how you can
Okay,
find me.
that's it. Thanks for sharing your heart, and thanks for sharing where you came from.
Thank you. I appreciate
Uh,
it.
don't forget to refresh your screen. Uh, uh, my technical person is telling me to refresh my screen.
All righty.
Okay. Thank you so much. I love you.
Love you
And
too.
don't forget, today is unusual because at 5 o'clock, uh, come back if you would like and hear from another person who works in the field, and I will be interviewing her. And please don't come share with someone who has had a stroke or someone who has a disability, okay?
And someone who needs encouragement.
And someone who needs encouragement. Be encouraged. I love you. Have a blessed day and be a blessing to someone else. You think, how can I be a blessing? Just think about all the different ways. And you can come back. We will be sharing how you can be a blessing. One of the ways that you can be a blessing. So come back to Astro for Healing and find out why. Okay? Bye for now. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.